Welcome back to the Gun Dungeon, guys. Today we got another gel test lined up for you. We're going to be using a 38 special, the 642 snub nose that I have here. That'll be our launching platform. We're going to be taking a look at 5 different bullets, 3 of which are factory loadings and 2 of them are hand loads, but one of them's kind of special. We'll talk about here in just a second. So first up, we're going to have Hornady, I guess American Gunner. This is standard pressure, 125 grain, 38 special. It's got the XTP bullet in it. Big fan of XTPs. If you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that. And this is the Hornady Critical Defense. This is 110 grain, and it is plus P. I kind of have high hopes for that one. I think it's going to do well. I actually load the 110 grain FTX bullet that has the green tip. That was the Zombie Max bullets for a while. Got a bunch of those on sale, and I load a lot of those 110 grain bullets in some of my 38 special ammo for the reloads. They're just green tip instead of red. And then we have this MagTech Guardian Gold. That is a 125 grain bullet as well, and it is a plus P loading. Just looking at the bullets, I don't know if you can see them or not, but you can tell just the hollow points themselves don't really look like that good of quality. Like, there's a lot of differences between the bullets in the box. And we also are going to be shooting this 158 grain XTP standard pressure. This is a reload, but it's standard pressure load data. Probably not going to get that great of performance out of that one, but I knew if I didn't throw a 158 grain bullet in here, somebody would wonder why I didn't use a 158 grain bullet in 38 special. So we got one in here, and we'll see how it does. And the last one that we're going to do here, I really have no idea how this is going to do. I saw some gel tests for the factory loading, but this is that Federal HST bullet, and you can see it seats like a wad cutter, and really that's what it reminds me of. The bullet itself, I got a bullet here that's out, and it looks, it's straight down. I mean, the diameter doesn't change all the way down, and it really reminds you of a wad cutter. It looks like a jacketed wad cutter if you would have turned it this way, but it's actually a hollow point. And you know, there was a fad a long time ago, and some people still talk about it today, of using the old 148 grain hollow base wad cutters and turning them around and using them like a massive expanding bullet. We're not going to do that today. They're not designed to do that. People may have used them with success, I don't know, but we're not going to do that today. This load is it's hand loaded to some of the same velocities and pressures that I've saw across the internet of the factory load. And Lucky Gunner's one of them. They have a video on it, and since we're using the sub 2-inch barrel, I kind of tried to match the velocities that he got with his Smith & Wesson J-frame. So a couple other tests gave velocity reports, so I kind of mimicked this load to the factory. However, probably not on video, but I do have high hopes for this round. I'm probably going to play with it in the reloading room and see what I can do. And one thing that's crazy about it is, when this is for you reloaders out there, this is a 130 grain bullet, but do not use standard 130 grain load data and then seat your bullet that deep. I mean, you can see this bullet, hopefully you can see that, is way down in that case. You're taking away case capacity and you're going to increase pressures. Do not use standard 130 grain load data and then seat like this. One thing I was thinking about doing, though, was, as you can see, there's a cantilever on this bullet. So I'm wondering if I can't seat to that cantilever. I'm assuming the cantilever is forged into the jacket to help with jacket core separation, kind of like an interlock. But I'm going to see if I can't seat to that cantilever and then play with the load data a little bit more. When you're seating one that deep like that, that's not, I don't want to play with any load data and dramatically spike pressures or whatever. But hopefully it does well in the gel. we'll go ahead and get everything set up, lined out. We'll put some denim on our blocks and get out there and see how these things do. All right, guys, so we're out here on the range. Apologize for the wind. As you can see, we got our blocks set up, new gel blocks. We got 4 layers of denim in front. And I think the way that I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna start with the heavy bullets and work our way down in weight, just because generally heavy bullets give you more penetration. And I don't want to take the risk of hitting a bullet that's already in the block. So the lighter one should stop before the heavies, theoretically. So first up, we're going to do this 158 grain Hornady XTP, and then I'll call out what rounds we're doing as we go on down. So there you have it, guys. You can see not a lot of devastation in the gel. Looks like it tumbled. Pretty sure it did, because there sits the bullet halfway into the second block. No expansion. It's kind of what I figured would happen, but it is facing rearward. So, like I said, 16-inch blocks, 16 and a half inches of penetration. Not ideal for self-defense load out of a 38 special. Next up, we're going to do the standard pressure 125 grain XTP Hornady. Okay, so there you have that. Kind of the same performance. Got a big tumble, no expansion. And you can see there sits the 125 grainer facing rearward, just like the 158, and no expansion at all. See how deep we went. Did get less penetration. So we are coming in right about 14 and a half inches. That's about the view from directly above to the back of that bullet. Okay, well, so far not very impressive results. Let's see if that 125 grain plus P Magtech Guardian Gold does any better. Okay, wow, guys, this is not looking good for the snubby with these rounds. That right there is our Magtech. The top one here is our 158 grain XTP. That's the Magtech. That's 125 grain XTP standard pressure. But that one, the plus P must have gave it, that must mean plus penetration in this case, because again, no expansion to speak of, and we got 17 3/8 inches of penetration. Deepest penetrator so far, still no expansion. Well, I think the next 2 loads are going to do better because they're lighter and going to give us a little more velocity out of that short snub. So let's do the oddball looking 130 grain HST load and see how it does in the gel. All right, that is more like it. So you can see that far track over there. That was our 130 grain HST. Top's not as clear to see through, but you can see a good little wound track. There you go, you can see it a little better here. It's that one. Good little wound track. You can see denim drug into it. As it goes down here, it'll look past the other, and there sits our bullet. Excellent excellent expansion. Looks picture perfect from where I'm sitting. It's coming in a little shy of our 12-inch to 18-inch FBI mandate. We're about 11 1/4, but I would take that over the other 3 rounds so far all day long. So let's see how the 110 grain FTX plus P load does out of this J-frame snub. All right, so that done pretty good. It's this track right here. It's 110 grain Hornady FTX. It's critical defense plus P. And you can see it went past our HST, and there it sits. So it's right, the back of the bullet is right at 15 inches. Decent expansion, it looks like. You can see the plug followed it all the way through the gel. After about the first 6-7 inches, the wound track pretty well flattens out. But for a snub nose round, or for a round coming out of a snub nose 38 special, that's pretty good. So it kind of comes down to these two loads, and it's going to be more of what you prefer. The HST is going to give us more, looks like more expansion. You can see the wound tracks are right there next to each other. You can see them for comparison. It does look like the HST wound track was a little more substantial, but did get within our FBI protocol penetration depth window with the 110 grain. So there are our bullets after we've pulled them out of the gel. Left to right in order they were shot into the gel. 158 grain XTP, 125 grain XTP, 125 grain MagTech, 130 grain HST Macro, and the 110 grain FTX Hornady. So you can see there were denim in the cavities of all of them except for the FTX. Of course, it had that plug, but I don't think denim was the main contributor of these not expanding. I think it was a velocity issue. But there are your two expanded bullets. All right, guys, so there you have it. That's the results of our 5 rounds through this 5-shot snubby revolver. Like I said, this is a barrel that is under 2 inches. It's actually like 1.875 inches. So it's not even a full 2-inch barrel. You can't really expect the heavy bullets, heavy 4 caliber bullets in this cartridge to do well with that short of a barrel. 38 Special is kind of an old cartridge. It's been around a long time. A lot of this ammo that we've shot that didn't do well out of this gun will probably do fantastic in a 4-inch barrel, 6-inch barrel, what have you, maybe even a 3. But with a snub, you don't have that velocity to make the heavier bullets reliably expand. So as you can see in the gel, it tends to be, in my experiences, the lighter bullets will be a little more reliable on expansion out of a snub nose revolver. And I kind of use that same theory even with really short subcompact 9mm and whatever. The shorter the barrel gets, the more likely I am to use a little lighter bullet. And that's kind of the same primary purpose, is the lighter bullet's going to give you the velocity that you need for that bullet to actually expand. So it kind of came down to 2 bullets here. Let me know in the comments which one of those you would choose, the HST with a little more expansion, little less penetration, or the 110 grain critical defense plus P that gave a little less wounding characteristics, but it did make it into the penetration depth window. Hope you liked today's video, guys. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the Gun Dungeon Facebook page. We have an official page over there now, so go check that out. Also check us out on Instagram. So as always, stay tuned, guys.